So welcome back to another career mode video. Today we're doing another episode of the annoying things in FIFA 19 career mode. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up for me. Let's get to 1,000 likes. And if you're new around here and you want to see more episodes in this series, hit the subscribe button today and the notification bell and you won't miss anything. Now I think it's fair to start with the most obvious annoying thing in FIFA 19 career mode, and that is the -1 overall bug. Now I'm not going to go too much in depth in this video because I did go in depth in a previous video. It's called FIFA 19 career mode is broken or something, and it's been bugging a lot of people. When is it going to get fixed? Don't know. That's the problem. The latest patch is coming out next week, but it's got no career mode fixes. This patch was probably planned a few weeks ago, so we might have to wait a few more extra weeks until we actually see a fix for this. But it is career mode at the end of the day, so they're going to take their time. If it was Ultimate Team, it would have been fixed in half an hour. But you can see how annoying it is. Good players that are not even 30 years old going down by 1. If you train players as well, they go down by 1. Sometimes the players have their proper overall in the team management, but then when they go to play the game, they're all down 1 overall. So very, very annoying. It does fix itself a little bit towards the end of a season, but yeah, it's pretty bad. Next up, I want to talk about the loan system in FIFA 19 career mode. Adam and Noor said the same thing. They said that the loan system doesn't allow older players to go out. Noor said that he tried to offer for Michy Batshuayi from Chelsea and they rejected. But we all know that this guy has been on loan for the past 2 seasons. He was at Borussia Dortmund and now he's at Valencia. So you would think in the game he'd have a high chance of going out on loan again. But when you go to the season after, so 2019-20 season, and you try and loan Batshuayi in, he'll come up with like a rejection thing. This club isn't interested in loaning this player out. You can try approaching them to purchase or look for other loan targets. So this is happening not just for him, but for a lot of other players above 22 or 23 years old. We all know that in real life, these kinds of players have a history of being out on loan. Zuma as well, you get rejected if you try and offer for him, but he's been on loan for the last 2 seasons. So it's pretty tough. It pretty much feels like what Oliver is saying. He says that the loan system is annoying. When a player is like under 22 or is loan listed, that's when you can loan them in. And I feel that as well. When a player's loan listed, you have no issues trying to get them in, or if they're pretty young as well. And then Oliver says, but everyone else is not willing to be loaned out to you, but the CPU can still loan them in. And I've seen this as well, where the CPU is snapping up players that the clubs have rejected to me, if that makes sense. His suggestion is to make the loan system a little bit more based around squad roles, how the player's form is, and how many games they have played in the season. So I think that's a better way to do it, because currently at the moment it feels like that there is sort of restrictions for us, but the CPU doesn't have any restrictions when they loan players in. So you guys can see if a player's not under 22 years old or is not loan listed, you pretty much get rejected every time the player doesn't meet that threshold. So I think that's a little bit of a BS system. I don't know about you guys, but in real life you always see players above 22 or 23 going out on loan. Maybe not the world-class players or the decent ones, but still players like Zuma, Sturaro from Juventus and stuff like that. But in the game, you always get rejected every time you put a loan offer in for these players because they don't meet the criteria. Now this year there's been a huge problem with selling youth players. It feels like you can't get rid of them. You sign them up, you want to get rid of them at like 16 or 17 years old, and you reach an agreement with the transfer fee with other clubs, but the player themselves does not want to leave and they reject all the offers. Now you would think that a player who's like 16 or 17 would be willing to be transferred to another club to get some game time under his belt, especially if he's not going to get any at the club he's with, and start his career. In this game, the 16 and 17 year olds don't want to leave the club for some reason. I don't know what's actually making them stay, but it's so weird. So this is just an example. I've got 2 players here that I want to show you. I've got Cook and Phillips, and as you can see, I've accepted 3 offers for this guy so he could be sold to another club. And it says Charles Phillips has rejected a move to each club as they couldn't reach an agreement on contract terms. Another guy, Cook here, who was a youth academy player, 17 years old, says Jonathan Cook has rejected a move to Hartberg as they couldn't reach an agreement on contract terms. So I don't know why they can't reach an agreement, but it's very, very annoying. This next one comes from Growing Up Brown, and he says that the Premier League top scorers don't score enough goals to match the real world. So we're going to take a look here. In the real world, 2017-18 season, the top scorer was Salah with 32 goals. In 2016-17 was Harry Kane with 29 goals. And in 2015-16 was Harry Kane again with 25 goals. So the last time a player actually scored 20 goals or under was back in 2010-11 season with Dimitar Berbatov and Carlos Tevez, who played for United and City respectively. But in FIFA 19 career mode, I simulated the 18-19 season to the end, and Hazard finished with 20 goals. In the 2019-20 season, Mane finished with 20 goals, and in the 2020 to 2021 season, and one from Newcastle won it with 17 goals. So as you can see, it's pretty low scoring, and it doesn't reflect real life as well. I'm not sure if it affects any of the other leagues, but in the Premier League, it is pretty much a big issue, to be honest, because every season they can't get past 20 goals. This next one comes from Ari, and it's got to do with sim games. Now, to me, sim games are pretty basic. I don't really pay attention to them, but when you do, you always find something stupid that happens in them. So Ari sent me this photo. He said that Gabriel Jesus scored a goal in the 61st minute and missed a penalty in the 61st minute. So in a matter of a minute, he scored a goal. The other team has conceded a penalty, and he's also missed a penalty, all inside 1 minute. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me, this is very unrealistic. It's not going to happen in real life, so I don't see why it happens in career mode. But I guess with sim games, whatever happens between the first and 90th minute doesn't really matter unless it's like a red card or something, because it's not like you're playing the game anyway. But it is still funny to have a read and see all the crap that the sim game actually comes up with during the match. This next one comes from Josh, and he was telling me about unrealistic generic names for players that get spawned into career mode. He said he was looking at players from Kenya, and most of them had the same last name. So out of a list of about maybe 7, you could see that there was 4 people with the same last name. We have Hendwala Alunga, we have Abraham Alunga, Johanna Alunga, and Abraham Alunga again. So same name, different guy. Now, I don't know if these guys are a whole family or they're all related or cousins or something, but this has been an issue for a few FIFAs now, so hopefully EA improve it in FIFA 20 career mode, because it just looks pretty stupid. So this one comes from the Mashimos, and he says, I've won the Champions League in 2022, but the commentator says 2019 champions. Now, he didn't supply a clip, so I'm going to try and create one, and I'm going to put it at the end here.
There we have it. The Champions League victors for 2019.
And as you can see there, we won it in 2022. On this channel, we focus a lot on manager mode, but don't think that player career mode has no faults. That is another mess of its own. Here is a screenshot from player career mode. We have another example of confusing feedback. This one was sent in by Muhammad. And look at the second star. It says your percentage of shots on target is up there with the best this season, which pretty much means like you're one of the best and most accurate people there are this season in terms of shooting. But the line after it says, caution, some of your shooting has been a little wayward this season. Watch your accuracy. 1 minute the coach is telling you that you're the most accurate guy on the field, and then the next minute he's saying that you are pretty inaccurate. So I don't know what he's trying to say, but it doesn't really help when you're trying to do player career mode and you got to deal with this confusing feedback. So this one comes from Labrin CISR, probably said it wrong, but he's talking about youth player faces being pretty bad. Now, he said that in every squad report he does, he always gets a Phil Jones lookalike, and I guess he sort of looks like Phil Jones a little bit. In this case, he sent me 2 photos. One was Fang Ren, who is a Chinese player or something, and then there's another guy called Arti Vertanen, and they both have the same player face, as you can see. It's pretty frustrating to see 2 different players with the same player face, but I guess there's nothing you can really do with generic faces unless EA was to create a lot of them, so you have a lot more variety and you never see 2 of the same one. Now, there's nothing worse in FIFA 19 when you have an unrealistic transfer or an unrealistic transfer offer. This one came in from SRW, and he showed me 2 instances where Man City got offers from Manchester United for their players. So Kevin De Bruyne here had an offer from Manchester United of 140 million euros, which is a lot of money. And Aguero as well got an offer from Manchester United for 73 million euros. You can see it says negotiations with United have broken down. And then we have another thing from A. Marty, who says Liverpool signed Sergio Ramos, and he provided a lineup photo there, and also one where the camera pans to Ramos as the captain of Liverpool as well. So he signed with them and he became captain as well. So Liverpool fans, you might want to look away for now. We have some more unrealistic transfers. This one was sent in by CD Russell. He said he was doing a career mode with Barcelona, and Real Madrid offered transfers for 3 of his players. So judging by the photo, I guess they offered for Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, and Umtiti as well. Now, obviously, these transfers are very unrealistic and are very unlikely to happen in real life. But the thing is, I know everyone wants realistic transfers, but what really is realistic? In the real world, you can say that every transfer is unrealistic until it actually happens. Like Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United would have been called unrealistic maybe 1 or 2 years ago, but we all know what happened there. Oxlade-Chamberlain to Liverpool would have been deemed unrealistic until it happened. It's very hard to predict certain transfers, so EA is always going to have unrealistic transfers in their career modes. But I guess they can improve it by not having rival teams offer for 3 of your players. Like, there is a line that they can sort of draw, but you can't really remove the element of unrealistic transfers in career mode. So that's the end of my list for today's episode. If you hate any of these things as well, let me know down below in the comments. And of course, if you want to contribute to this series, all you got to do is leave a comment or send me your lists on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll put the best ones